Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Tableau Tip Tuesday, the series where we break down some of Tableau's functionality into its base elements to make it easier to understand. For that reason, from beginner to expert, this is a great series for you to pick up on some hidden gems that take your visualizations to a new level. So today is going to be part 3 in our dashboard performance mini-series. And we're going to be focusing on the dashboard itself here. Now there are 3 main elements that we want to be aware of when dealing with dashboard performance. And the first is going to be the sizing of the dashboard itself. So if I go to one of our pre-built dashboards that we have prepared here, we want to avoid automatic sizing. And what I mean by this is if I go into my size menu here and change it from fixed size to automatic, you can see that it makes my dashboard take up the entirety of the screen. It looks nicer when I do this. Now I want you all to promise me to avoid this option, and we're going to break down why. There are 2 main reasons. The first is that it is your server that determines the aspect ratio of the device that is accessing it. So if you just say automatic, that's a lot more your server is going to have to do to know what size of dashboard to return. So if we go more precise in our sizing, using our width and height down here, then it's going to give your server a baseline for that aspect ratio, so it has less work to do to show that dashboard to that end user. The second reason is because your server is going to cache your dashboard and its results whenever that person uses it. So if I use this dashboard from a browser and I change some filters, I send that to my server, it caches those results so I can retrieve them quicker later. Now when it caches it to the size of the device that was accessing it. So if I switch devices, it's going to have to recache that dashboard for me, or indeed even if I embed this in an online environment into a web page, if I resize my browser, that is going to affect the size of the cache. So for that reason, it is better to publish your dashboard at a specific width and height, and that way, no matter if I resize my dashboard, the embedded dashboard is not going to change size because I have published it to a specific width and height right here. Now, if you don't know what mediums you're publishing to, I totally understand. There is this nice button called Device Preview up here that Tableau's put quite a bit of work into, and it opens up this banner up along the top of my dashboard where we have different mediums, either desktop, tablet, or phone. And then we have all of the generally associated resolutions. Not that you can't change this, but it is a great means to give your server that easy baseline with just a couple of clicks. And then later on, if you find that you're having problems on certain mediums, you can go ahead and add another device layout that is a custom width and height and range. So you can give your server a baseline with the built-in options, and then you can further refine to steal back even more performance from your server. So that by far is going to be your biggest performance helper on your dashboards. I know we all want to come into automatic because it works so nice and neatly, and the problem with it is that it works until it doesn't, right? So as soon as you scale this relatively small dashboard into a larger environment with more users, that's really when you're going to see those growing pains, and that's also when it's difficult to go back through and diagnose what exactly is causing that issue. So starting from a fixed size, or at least starting from the baseline that they give you with your device preview, is going to be your best performance improvement indicator on a dashboard. The second that we have here is going to be our the amount of sheets that we have. Again, I know that we all want to fit all of our analyses onto one single dashboard, but if we get into that realm where we have 10, 20, 30 sheets on one dashboard, and then if you add interactivity on top of that, well, it's just going to be a lot of things for Tableau to have to process, and inherently it's going to run a little bit slower. So rather than have it all in one dashboard, remember you always have these navigation buttons that I've added so we can toggle back and forth between our 2 dashboards here, and that's going to make it so that you have less information to load at one time, so that it only has to load those charts as we interact with this first one. And then remember, you can also have it so that your click on a specific chart is also going to take you to a different dashboard just using your dashboard filters. So there's no perfect amount of sheets that I can give you. All I can say is that if you have too many sheets and you're starting to notice a performance hit, you may want to see if you can break that dashboard out into several dashboards using some of our built-in dashboard interactivity, such as this button or this dashboard action that we're going to set up together here right now. So our goal here is to have a click on this bar right here bring us over to our other dashboard, and we could accomplish that just in our dashboard actions menu, where we can add a filter action. And all we have to do is say Our targeted click is going to be our budget versus actual sheet. And where we want to take ourselves is to a separate dashboard over here. We have the option of either pre-filtering or not if we would like to. I always like to run these on a menu. Since you're going to a different dashboard, you would like a visual indicator of that. So I'll just name this. And that is just going to give my ending user a little menu option that they have to select in order to actually confirm they want to move, and then we can move over here. So again, it's very easy to continue your journey using dashboard interactivity rather than trying to cram 10, 15, 20, 30 charts onto one specific dashboard. All right, our last method for stealing back performance is going to be again in our dashboard actions. So what we can see right here is that as I click these different elements, you can see that it is filtering the scatter plot and the bar chart as I move forward. So my pie chart filters both the bars and the scatter plot, and then my bar chart just filters the scatter plot down here. Now, if we're presented with all of this information right when we visit this dashboard, the scatter plot looks a little busy. It's hard to kind of determine the density of these dots just because there's so many marks on the screen, and actually this is fairly modest. I've seen scatter plots that are far, far worse than this. So what we want to do is we still want them to be filtered, but we want the chart hidden until we make a click. So when we get to this dashboard, the only thing we'd be presented with is a pie chart, and then as we make clicks, our other charts will populate based on the values associated. So again, we can do that up in our dashboard actions menu right here, and we're actually going to edit the two actions that we currently have set up. And when I edit this, what we're looking for is in this section right here, clearing the selection will exclude all values. So we're going to go ahead and set that option for both of our filters, and then we'll be able to see that Tableau has fewer marks that it has to draw until I make a selection. So I'm going to clear my filter right now, and we can see that we're only presented with our pie chart, and then as we make a selection, that is when Tableau has to populate those marks, and then again we can clear to get back to our cleared state. It makes for a very nice user experience because it's very easy to see what exactly we're supposed to be looking at first, obviously, and then the rest of the journey kind of presents itself as it becomes relevant. All right, that's all we have for you guys today, and that concludes our dashboard performance series. If you guys wanted more performance, such as data modeling or structuring your data, I would be happy to put that together. Just let me know in the comments, and join us next week for another tip.